Hi, this is Pragati. Now in this video, we will try and understand the concept of yield. But before we dive deeper into the concept, I would like you to like, share and press the bell icon here. So yield in the financial world is the measure of the income generated by an investment in relation to its market price. It's the return on investment expressed as a percentage. Now let's put this into perspective with a real world example. So imagine you've invested in a stock. The yield would be the dividends you receive annually relative to the current market price of that stock. So if a stock is priced at $100 and pays out $5 in dividends over the year, the yield is 5%. Now, yield comes in various types and each type caters to different investment instruments, the two being dividend yield and the coupon yield. Starting with the dividend yield, this is relevant for stocks. So it's the annual dividend income as a percentage of the current market price of the stock. Now, having talked about dividend yields in stocks, we talk about coupon yields. For this, you turn your attention to bonds. Coupon yield represents the fixed interest paid on a bond as a percentage of its face value. So if a bond has a face value of $1,000 and an annual coupon payment of $50, the coupon yield is 5%. Now we'll talk about the yield curve, which is essentially a visual representation of the relationship between yields and maturities of bonds. So in a normal yield curve, longer term bonds have higher yields than shorter term ones. It slopes upward, reflecting the compensation investors demand for tying up their money for a more extended period. However, on the flip side, an inverted yield curve where short-term rates are higher than the long-term rates often signals economic concerns. It's like the financial market sending up a flare. Now, this yield does not exist in isolation and there can be a number of factors affecting yield and we'll discuss each of it in detail. So when interest rates rise, existing bonds with lower yields become less attractive. So for instance, let's consider a scenario where the Federal Reserve decides to increase interest rates. If you own a bond with a fixed interest rate of say 3%, but the newly issued bonds are now offering 4%, your bond's yield becomes less competitive, affecting its market value. Moving on to the next factor, which is the credit risk. So now imagine two corporate bonds, one issued by a stable, established company with a credit rating of AAA and another by a startup with a credit rating of B. Now investors will demand a higher yield for the startup bond due to its higher risk. This compensates for the increased likelihood of default. Now let's talk about the most important factor, which is the inflation. So as we all know that inflation erodes purchasing power over time. Let's say you have a bond that pays a fixed annual interest of 5%. Now if the inflation rises to 4%, the real return on investment is reduced to 1%. Now investors may seek higher yields to outpace inflation and maintain their purchasing power. Moving on, we'll talk about liquidity now. Now consider two bonds with identical terms, but one is highly liquid while the other is less so. Investors may demand a higher yield for the less liquid bond as compensation for the additional risk associated with potentially more challenging selling conditions. Now let's try and understand yield in the context of total return scenario. So imagine you buy a stock for $100. It pays a $3 dividend and the stock price appreciates to $110. So now your yield is the $3 dividend, but your total return includes both the yield and the $10 capital gain. Relating to this concept, I will try to explain what YTM is. Yield to maturity at its core is a way to evaluate this total return an investor can expect from a bond if it is held until it matures. So it is a comprehensive measure that takes into account both the regular interest payments, which are the coupon payments, and any potential gain or loss of the bond's face value at maturity. So the YTM is essentially the annualized rate of return you would receive if you purchase the bond at its current market price and hold it until it matures. To sum up now, I will try and explain YTM in context to a few other concepts around yield. The first being coupon rate versus YTM. So now if the bond's coupon rate is equal to its YTM, the bond is priced at its face value. The next is YTM in context to the market price, that is discounted market price and the market price at premium. For the discounted market price, now if the YTM is higher than the bond's coupon rate, it suggests that the bond is trading at a discount to its face value. Now in this case, the investor not only receives the fixed coupon payments but also the benefits from potential capital appreciation as the bond approaches maturity. Now having talked about it trading at a discount, we will talk about the bond trading at a premium. So if the YTM is lower than the coupon rate, the bond may be trading at a premium. Here the investor is paying more than the face value for the bond and the yield is lower, reflecting the lower return relative to the higher purchase. In essence, YTM helps investors assess the true potential return of a bond, accounting for both the fixed income from coupons and any capital gain or loss at maturity. Thank you.